Yeah, so let's talk about this real quick. So something that's been kind of interesting for me to process through a lot of these conversations is that I'm realizing Black people are way more relevant and important to a lot of the fabric of certain conversations than a lot of people are willing to acknowledge. You know, like so many people seem to be basing a lot of the way that they move around Black people, whether it's positive or negative, right? You have people on the left who are actually using their indifference to anti-racism as a way to court people to their version of the left. Then you also have people on the right who are obsessed with utilizing racism as a way of getting people to vote against their best interest, right? And these people, you know, take Black people out of the conversation, some of this stuff works a little bit less functionally. Do you know what I mean? Too many people rely on Black people existing as sort of a permanent lower person, something that exists beneath, right? They don't really want to entertain the premise of a Black person being equal, not really, because they both sort of rely on a Black person's inequity, right? Democrats rely on racism existing on the right to sort of argue, oh, this is why you should vote for us, right? People on the right need racism in order to get people on who would probably be on the left if their politics are reflective of their class, right? And racism allowed a lot of them to think, okay, these billionaires are on our sides. Billionaires who have screwed them for centuries. They were suddenly able to be like, oh, well, these billionaires are on our side. Why? Because they both don't like Black people, right? It's actually kind of becoming a little funny, and I've been saying this a lot recently, but one of the, I think, unintended effects of the right becoming so vocally and loudly racist right now has been that for me personally, I'm not really offended by white supremacy anymore, because it's an inferiority complex. Do you know what I mean? Like, these people.
A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. This is the Diaspora Review, and I'm your host for today, Sam. And today we're not going to just talk about something that's is common, but it's something that I've talked about on this channel for quite some time, and I'd like you to listen up here. So guys, if you've ever wondered why racism is still alive and thriving, despite all the marches, all the speeches, all the progress we claim to have made, this video is going to explain why. It's not just ignorance or history, it's political currency, it's power, it's control. From the Trump-loving right to the performative left, who uses racism as a tool to manipulate, to divide, and to dominate, and y'all, it's uncomfortable but facts. So guys, whether you Black, whether you palm colored, or anything in between, this conversation affects you, because it's not just about race, it's about how the race is used, twisted, and weaponized to make sure power stays exactly where it is, and we're about to break down it all. So guys, listen up here. Sit back, grab your cup of coffee, grab your cup of tea, either popcorns or any other snack. Buckle up, let us unpack this chaos. I'll be back with my further analysis.
Do not understand that the world would function if they let go of white supremacy. Like, they have such little faith in it, right? Like, in this conversation, contextually, right, you have people who are in the Unfuck America tour who are in so many ways saying that racism is so central to both the people that they're trying to reach and the people within the organization that it's not really productive for them to organize against it, right? It's not really productive for them to remove those people, because at the end of the day, these racist white people on the right aren't really going to listen to black people, right? They don't really give a fuck about black people, right? So it doesn't really actually matter to them that these people are being anti-black, right? Then you got people on the right who have been telling these people forever that the biggest issue in America is people of color, right? Like I just saw something about Section 8. Apparently they're getting rid of Section 8, right? So many people believe that the only people on Section 8 are black people, right? I've never been on public assistance. I've never been on public assistance, right? Personally, right? I've known a lot of white people who have been, right? There are so many people who are on public assistance, so many people who are included under things like DEI that are outside of just black people who are being harmed right now, right? And these people were able to use their racism to get these people to vote against their rights. You know, it's all just very interesting to me. It's all just very entertaining to me. Because at the end of the day, white supremacy is a death cult. And these people are holding on to it desperately because it's like one of their only main sources of power. That's really what it comes down to, right? A lot of white people have such a small vision of what the future could be that they genuinely cannot figure out what the world would look like without white supremacy. So much to the point where they are willing to let it thrive purely so they can continue having the conversations they're having. Like, really. You know, get somebody else to do it. You know, that's how I'm feeling at this point.
MAGA. You guys remember that euphoria you've been on ever since Donald Trump promised you guys, if y'all put him back in the White House, that you would not be having taxes on tips, that your tips will be 100% yours? Remember that? Do you also remember Trump promising you that there would be no tax on overtime? That you would get all your overtime tax free? Or do you remember when he said that, Social Security won't be taxed anymore? Well, the bill is out. And the only thing in that bill that he promised would be in there, is it actually in there? Is raising the 1%, dropping the 1% taxes down to an all-time low. See, he promised you that he'd look after you, that he'd put more money in your pocket, the working class, right? That's what he promised you. All those rallies, you guys were going off in those rallies when he said that. You were just raving cheers. Oh, cheers to the Almighty. You were probably even yourself some too, huh? How does it feel to finally find out that it was all a lie? How does it feel? Y'all believed everything he said. Everything. You believed everything. And he's not holding on to one promise that he made y'all, that he swore to y'all that he would do for you, because he loves you all so much. You guys remember those speeches? Well, the Republican budget is out. There's no indication in that budget that there will be no taxes on OT. There is nothing in that budget said that there would be no taxes on tips. There is nothing in that budget that said there would be no taxes on Social Security. However, it is saying that he is going to lower the 1% taxes to the lowest it's ever been in American history. I'm going to say that part again. He's going to lower the 1%, him and his buds, he's going to lower their taxes lower than they have been in the entire history of the United States. Y'all gullible. You so gullible that you kill me. He knew. He knew. I don't even know how he kept a straight face. Standing up there lying, bald-faced lying to y'all ass the whole time. Not one thing has this man promised has he done, other than mass deportations. That's it. Mass deportations. And I hope y'all take that and wrap yourselves around with it at night and cozy up and get you a good night's sleep, because that's the only thing y'all got out of selling y'all souls to Donald Trump. But you know what? I know y'all gonna figure a way. You're gonna figure a way to excuse this, to justify this, just like you do everything else you do. But that's cool. However you get through the night, that's your thing. But as for me, I just got one question. I got one question. Is it great again yet? Is it great again yet, knowing that you will not be getting no taxes on overtime? Is it great again yet, knowing that you will not be getting 100% of your tips with no taxes? Is it great again yet, now that you know Social Security will not be exempt from tax? Is it great? Is it great again yet? Because my friends, they just keep hammering me with this question, and I haven't got anybody in my comments to answer it yet. So I have to keep asking, is it great again yet? Oh, Lord, enjoy your tax-free. Happy Thursday, guys. Listen, I got a little bit of something I wanted to run by y'all this morning. You guys remember back when Trump first got in office, he was pitching in invading Mexico because of the drug cartel problem, and how they wanted to use that as a reason to go and invade Mexico. Remember the cartel issue? There's this notorious cartel family named El Chapo, and they're notorious. I think they said the father was arrested, and I think the son is taking over something. Anyway, the real story behind this is Trump has allowed and is bringing in 17 members of this notorious cartel, El Chapo, who he deemed terrorists. This very cartel he deemed terrorists. He's allowing 17 members of his family to enter the United States. So MAGA, that immigration, getting rid of all these horrific criminals, these killers and rapists and drug dealers, that's why he's doing it, because he wants to rid the country of all of that bad, all those bad people. Well, he's bringing them in. You see how he keep playing, y'all? He tell y'all one thing, and then he goes back and does the absolute opposite. Instead of running the cartel out of business, he's bringing 17 members of the most notorious cartel into the United States, into your backyards. Yeah, they crossed over. They showed them with suitcases coming in from Tijuana. Yeah, and guess what? He didn't even talk to the Mexican government. He didn't see if they wanted to press charges against them or anything. He's just bringing them in. I wonder why. We all know the cartel has what Trump loves above any and everything. You know what I'm saying. He done sold y'all out again to a crime ridden, dangerous cartel. Are you scared? Are you shaking? Are you hiding up under your beds now? This man is going to be the ruin of all of MAGA's lives. And guess what? Thunder just clapped. Woo, that was dramatic. I just heard a thunderbolt clap. Even my man upstairs on it. But I'm telling y'all, y'all did the worst thing you could have ever done, was put that man in this office, and now you are paying for it daily. First it was the South African immigrants coming in, getting all the benefits he's snatching from y'all, and coming in taking all this farmland. Now it's the cartel, the very ones you guys are deathly afraid of. The ones that's got y'all hiding and going buying all these pew-pews and voting for Donald Trump because he's going to save us. Well, he's bringing them into your backyards. And I'm quite sure all they had to do was just, and it was on. So, I just wanted to bring that in. I wanted to keep the ball rolling, because I want to keep bringing this vital information to Trump voters. I want to keep letting you guys know every time he bends you over, I want y'all to be aware of it. It's what I do. So, y'all have the damn day you deserve. And before I get out of here, I just gotta know, MAGA, is it great again yet? Y'all watch it back, them cartels are here.
White exhaustion is knowing that the only time white people form a community or come together is when it involves their hatred of other people, other ethnicities, other races. White exhaustion is knowing that the only time the majority of white women scream all women is when they feel left out, is when something directly affects them. I've seen so many white women come on this app and other social media apps, and they'll tell you out of their mouths, white women don't know how to community. White exhaustion is knowing that a lot of white women wouldn't be as racist as they are if it weren't for their men, if it weren't for their patriarchy. And a lot of them are too afraid to not go along with the patriarchy. White exhaustion is white people continuing to look at black people as a monolith, yet demanding that they be viewed as individuals. White exhaustion is watching two white men fight, reading the comments, and finding white men cheering them on. But those same white people will watch a video of white people antagonizing a black man who accepts their challenge and calling him ghetto.
Fucking mouth before I beat you. Can I have you understand? Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I want this.
Y'all remember that white man that said he was going to sponsor a white South African family? Because him said, I can't just sit back and let them mistreat them poor white people like that. So he did just that, y'all. He paid for them to come over here, let them live with them, giving them money, feeding them, clothing them. Baby, fast forward. They took all that man money. They took that man retirement money, baby. They took it all.
Now listen up. This right here. This is the part that had me shocked. Like, both the left and the right need black people to stay oppressed, but in different ways. The left needs racism to exist so they can say, vote for us, we are not them. And the right, they need racism to keep working class white folks angry and distracted enough to vote against their own wallets. People, that's the playbook. That's how billionaires get folks making $30,000 a year to fight DI programs instead of asking why they can't afford rent. Let's talk Trump real quick. And Trump's broken promises on tips, social security and taxes. Remember the promises. No taxes, no tips. That's it. Protect social security. Take down the cartels. But instead, the rich got the rich got tax breaks. Tips are still taxed. And guess what? Members of the El Chapo cartel reportedly got in a while thousands of regular immigrants were deported. So, I always say some of these things that are happening in the United States are just meant to divide people. Like divide and rule, divide and conquer. Everything. As I've said here. Now, listen up. Man, that's not even betrayal. I don't know what it is, but and yet people still ride for him because they've been convinced that keeping black folks down somehow makes their own lives better. Some even groups of people, they're not even close to being white, but they think for their skin color to have a close proximity to whiteness, they feel too entitled to being white people than the white people themselves. And that's why, see, they'll be the first people, I won't mention names, but they'll be the first people to spread this anti-blackness thing. This part hits deep. The fear people have about black men thriving. The fear says more about guilt and projection than it does about us. They're afraid of what we might do if we get power. But what we want is equality, not revenge. That is why work hard to suppress. That's why they work hard to suppress us. Because they know exactly how wrong they've been. They're afraid of the system that gave them everything might one day turn fair. There is something that I want to talk about. White exhaustion. And it's real. The idea that white unity only exists when there is a shared enemy. That's not a community. That's trauma bonding through hate. That's centuries of conditioning, and it's time to break free from that cycle. And that is why I said in the beginning of this video that everybody needs to hear this. Either you're black, you're brown, you're palm colored, you're pink, you're yellow, you're green, you're red. It doesn't matter, but this conversation needs to be had. And as I wind up, allow me to say this. At the end of the day, this is not just a rant. It's a real, it's a reality check. Racism is not just a social issue. It's a strategy. It's a weapon. A form of control that benefits the powerful, not the poor. Now, if you're tired of being manipulated, if you're tired of watching politicians use you as pawns, then start by unlearning the lies. It's time to unlearn, relearn. It's time to learn and learn and relearn. Like, it's high time you guys unlearn all these lies. Start by recognizing how central black people are to these political conversations, not just as voters, but as the reason for many of these strategies. Just like we are not disposable, we are not beneath anyone, and we are sure as hell not going to stay silent while they build their power out of our pain. Then, if this conversation got you hard or hit you hard just like me, consider subscribing. This is the conversation that we're going to have here on this channel. This is the Diaspora View. I've been your host for today, Bemo. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Peace out.